I just found out that my first ever shoot is being published. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd talk about publish-worthy editorials, since I don't know if you heard, but I had my first shoot published today, I think is when it comes out, so that's really exciting. And I thought I'd share some of my tips and tricks, because at first I didn't know what I was doing when I was trying to get my photos published, and I'm guessing that a lot of other photographers are feeling the same way, so I thought I'd share what has helped me and what I think is helpful with you guys. And I have a big list of things, so let's get going. So I'm gonna have this video divided into 3 sections. The first one is planning, the second is the actual shoot, and the third one is actually getting the photos published, because it's not like you plan and then you shoot and then all of a sudden your photos are noticed by a big magazine and they're published. So you have to actually put work into every single one of those steps to get there and to have your photos published. So the most important thing when you're planning your shoot is to actually have a unique idea that you've not seen all over Instagram and Pinterest, because we all know that some ideas those tennis court shoots are I don't even know, photos from a low angle with a lot of sky and flowy dresses. We've seen that all 100 times already, because somebody had a great idea and then everybody else decided to use that too, because they do look great. But I don't think you would get photos like that published, because well, we've all seen them so many times. So you have to come up with a unique idea. You can still use other shoots as an inspiration, and you can just look all over Instagram and Pinterest and whatever else there is. You can look through to find other photos that you like, and you can create a mood board. I've made a video about that, so you can go watch that. I'll link it down below. And yeah, so just lay out your idea. You can have a color that should revolves around, or you can have a certain outfit or a certain location that's so specific that it makes your shoot so special. And the next thing when you're planning, well, when you have your idea finished and your mood board all laid out, you want to find a reliable team. So a model, a makeup artist, and a stylist if you want to or need to. For me personally, stylists are a pretty great idea, because I don't know a lot about fashion, so they're helping me out to making the outfits look more elevated and just good, because if I would do it, they're well, they're okay, but it's not great and editorial-ish, you know. Or in the shoot that I got published, you can also be super lucky and have a model that's super fashionable and that knows her way around fashion, and just she just puts on anything and it just looks good, and it just looks well, an editorial outfit. So you can be lucky and have that too. Speaking of the model, when you're looking for a model, I think, well, for me personally, it's super important that the model is either agency signed or experienced. Experience is more important than agency signed, but usually when a model is agency signed, it means that she has or he has some experience, so look out for one of those things. Because for me, when I'm doing an editorial, I have this vision in my head, and I don't want to have to tell the model every single pose, everything that she needs to be doing in order to get to that idea. I want to kind of work with her or him and just create together, and they can do what they're good at, and I do what I'm good at, and then it just becomes art. For me, it's also super helpful if I have worked with that model before on a not that important shoot, or on any shoot for that matter, because then you already know how they're working and they know how you work, and then it's just easier for the both of you to work together. Finding a makeup artist and a stylist that are reliable is super important too, because you don't want anybody to cancel on you last minute. I've had that happen a couple of times now. So just find somebody that you trust, maybe even know as a friend, because friends are not gonna cancel on you that easily. So just find somebody that you trust. You know they're reliable, you know their work, you know that they're gonna do great work, because you don't want to have this vision and then the makeup artist comes and ruins the makeup, or it's not what you expected. And same thing with the stylist. You want somebody that has a certain style that you would like for your shoot or for your idea, and not just somebody that's good with clothes but just doesn't fit your aesthetic or idea at all. So yeah. And when you're actually planning your mood board, you also have to think about that you need to shoot several outfits because one would usually not be enough. So aim for like, I don't know, 4 upwards. You can like always send less, but you can't like shoot more in the same mood at that same day if the things are not there. So just plan a couple more outfits and then you can still like select if you want to send all of them or just a couple. And yeah, going with a couple of outfits, you also should plan a couple of locations that all have like kind of the same vibe or style or colors, whatever like your theme is, because you don't want every single outfit, like all the different outfits, to be shot at the same location, because that would kind of be boring and not make that much sense. So just like find a couple of outfits and a couple of locations and then match them up with each other, and like whatever fits best together, just put those together and then magic is gonna happen, hopefully. So now on to actually shooting. So once you've like set up your mood board, you plan your outfits, the locations, you just have to put them in a timetable or like time plan, so you know what time of the day you're shooting, how long each outfit should take or each location. And yeah, just like have a plan so you don't like go there with, I don't know, 10 outfits and 10 different locations and you have to like drive around and then it's just like 100 hours and you're still not done, you know. So just like plan everything out. You don't want to plan too much time on each outfit because you're gonna have so many photos and you don't want to be stuck even before editing just like choosing photos, because if you have multiple outfits, multiple locations, there's already going to be like a lot of photos, and if you, I don't know, plan like 1 or 2 hours for each outfit, you're just gonna drown in photos, so I would not recommend doing that. And as I've said, if you have multiple outfits and multiple locations, you wanna match them with each other, like the ones that like fit best to each other, and you should do that as soon as possible. If you can go look at the location before the shoot, I would really recommend that, because then you know like how the lighting's gonna be, how like the colors actually are. If there's a lot of people, like do you have to Photoshop out everybody, or is there like a certain time of the day that you can go there so you don't have to Photoshop out everybody else? So think about that, keep that in mind, and yeah, look at the location if possible and plan everything, put everything together, so at the day of the shoot you like know what you're doing, you have your timetable and you can just like work that off and there's nothing stressing you out. I would also recommend not bringing like 300 people to shoot. You need yourself, obviously, you need your model, your makeup artist for like touching up the makeup if, I don't know, it's super hot and the model sweats or something, and also the stylist so they can like fix the clothes and stuff. And if like the model feels uncomfortable, obviously like let her bring, I don't know, a mom, a friend, a dad, whatever, like I don't care about that, but don't have like 5 of your friends and then, I don't know, 10 behind the scenes photographers and like all of that, because it's gonna distract you. You're already gonna have like 4 to 5 people there that like actually need to be there, so you don't want to have even more people that's gonna stress everybody out, like they're gonna stand in the way, and just it doesn't make sense. Like you don't need that, so don't do it. Also, make sure that you're actually allowed to shoot at your location and you're allowed to use that location for like shoots that are going to be published, because some locations you're like allowed to shoot, but if you publish those photos you have to pay or something like that. So make sure you know about that, and obviously if possible like choose a location that's free and you can use on shoots without paying extra, because nobody has that much money to just pay for a location. Also, I forgot about that. That's super important because it's so like logical that you don't really think about it, but make sure everybody on the shoot knows that that shoot is going to be published, so nobody's going to be like, oh, I don't want those photos to be published, or I don't know what people are thinking. Like make sure everybody knows that the shoot is being published. Make sure you have everybody's information that you need to be published, so like their full name, Instagram handles, websites, anything that they might want, like contact information, everything that they would want to be in the magazine, you have that, so you can publish those photos right away when you're done and you don't have to wait on anybody's information. And yeah, just make sure everybody knows so everybody can do like their best work. Nobody's surprised if the photos suddenly like end up being in a magazine. Also, you have to ask everybody if they're okay with putting those photos in a magazine, because well, it's their work too and you can't just use it and not tell them about it. Now on to actually getting the shoot published, which is stressing, annoying, and not as much fun and as glamorous as you would think it is. It's just, it comes down to just you being annoying to magazines. That's it, basically. So Make sure that you edit your photos in like a similar vibe, but if you've already like chosen the outfits and the location, and if you found your editing style, that should like not be a problem at all. But make sure that you edit them in your style and in like a similar vibe so that they all like fit together, and make sure that you like only choose photos that are like super sharp. I think that like that's also logical, but sometimes you don't think about those things that are logical, so I'm just gonna say them. So yeah, make sure that everything is sharp, that you only choose your best photos. Make sure that if you have like 10 photos of a similar pose and you can't decide which one you like the best, just, I don't know, maybe like let the model choose or something, because you don't want to send like 50 photos and like half of them are gonna be the same, because nobody wants to look at that. And if I was like a magazine editor, I would just like not look at that shoot, because if everything is the same, like it's not my work to sort through all of those photos. That should be the photographer's work. So make sure that all of your photos are different from each other, all of the poses are like different and like stand out and like are not the same as each other, basically, are not similar. So there's like 10 really different photos and nothing like similar and like, oh, that's kind of the same, you know. Also have enough photos for the publishers to maybe like choose or like edit out like 1 or 2, because if the recommendations are you need to send exactly 8 photos, then you send exactly 8 photos. But if there's like send 8 to 12, then I would send like 10 or 11, so they can maybe cut out like a couple. But there's also enough if they like all of them that they can use all of them, because your personal style is not everybody's personal style, and there might still be like photos that you don't think that are similar that other people think that are similar. So just like leave like 1 or 2 extra photos in. So now to actually submitting them. You've finished your editing, you chose all of your photos, you chose which magazines that you want to submit to, and I'm saying magazines because you're not gonna just submit to one magazine, because chances are they're probably not gonna reply. So you need to like find, I think I have a list of like 10 or 15 magazines, and I'm gonna put them somewhere on the screen or like at the end of the video. So you want to look at the requirements of each of the magazines first, because one magazine might require like a different size of photos, or one magazine might be like web-based, so they need like web resolution, and the print magazine obviously is going to need like print resolution or like high resolution. So make sure you like know about everything, and then prepare your photos to send to those different magazines. And you want to send your photos to multiple magazines, because chances are that just one is not gonna reply. So just like get your name out there, send your photos to all of the magazines that you know about, and hopefully get an answer. And speaking of not answering, don't be frustrated if a magazine doesn't answer you. They have like so many shoots and so many photos coming in, so they're not gonna look at every little thing that like close and publish every shoot they get. Obviously they can't do that, because there's probably like hundreds that they get, so we need to understand that too. So if a magazine gives you good feedback, then be like persistent with them, like don't annoy them like seriously annoy them, but maybe like send like a follow-up email like, hey, have you like had a chance to look through the photos yet, or hey, like I don't know, when's the issue being published, or something like that, so they know that you're like still there, they won't forget about you. Because I've had that happen to me a couple of times, that my shoots were like taken and then there's nothing that I heard back. And because like I said, they have like a lot to do, and they don't only have like your shoot that everything revolves around, so I can understand that. But just don't get frustrated if you don't get a reply, and just like be persistent, or just choose a different magazine, because if you send your photos to like 10 or 50 magazines, at least one of them is gonna reply, you know? Another super important thing is do not publish your photos before you know if they're being published by a magazine, because most magazines want to be like the first to publish those photos. And if you like post your photo on Instagram and you've also sent it to a magazine, and the magazine sees that you posted that photo like 2 weeks before the magazine even comes out, they can like say like, okay, we don't want to publish that anymore because we want to be the first ones, and you already like showed it to everybody on Instagram. So like, what's the point, you know? Everybody's seen it already. So make sure that you do not post the photo or like publish the photo before you know if it's gonna be published or not. Also, if you publish it after the magazine has published it, you get like a little copy with like a logo or something on there, and that's pretty cool. So just wait for that to post that photo. And the last thing that I want to say is don't be disappointed if no magazine takes your photo, but also don't think that you're not good enough, because maybe you're not their style, or maybe they already have enough shoots to fill like their next 5 issues. You don't know that. So don't be disappointed, don't think you're not good enough. Just like keep sending those photos out, just get your name out there, and at some point some magazine is gonna be like, okay, we need that, like that's so good, we really need that, and they're gonna maybe like drop somebody else, and that was like you a couple of years ago, you know. So don't lose your hope, just keep working, keep creating, keep just making art, and don't just like shoot because you want to be published in a magazine. Shoot because it's fun, because you like it, because you can like let your creativity out, and don't just like do it for like the likes, I guess, which is a whole different topic, and I honestly hate Instagram so much, but that's not what we're talking about today. So don't just shoot for the magazine, shoot for yourself and for the sake of creating art. And I think that's everything that I want to say today. If you have any other questions, you can DM me on Instagram or just comment down below. I'm gonna be happy to answer any questions that you have, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Bye.